Welcome
Hey
back.
guys. Welcome back.
Oh my gosh, we missed last week, but that's okay. I think
Yeah,
it's been
things
really
happen.
nice. Yeah, it's been really nice for us not this season to not put so much pressure on hitting like a certain cadence because it makes us want to not really put a end to the season.
Yeah,
Like we can keep going.
tell me you have a Peloton without telling me you have a Peloton.
What are you talking about? I don't get it.
Cadence.
Oh, it's like, what are you?
No, I just you said cadence another time before, and it always makes me think of Peloton rides because they're like up your cadence. I'm at
I
a
know. And then
cadence,
every
whatever.
time they're like talking about resistance, I'm like, y'all have no idea the resistance I have to share with this world. I am constantly resisting.
Yeah, I can't remember all the terminology because it's been so long since I've been on the Peloton, but I can see her over there and she's
You
cute.
you said
But
you were going to start
I was
doing some
going to.
rides.
I say a lot of things.
I know. What about the sauna? Did you hook it up again for Chad at
No,
least?
it's still sitting over there. No, he doesn't have time to get in that sauna right now. He goes on his 2-hour mental health walks, and I get to be in mental hell while he does. Just kidding.
That was
But
good. You're really quick and witty. Like you really are. Sometimes it's like offensive
always offensive.
at like my expense, but then sometimes it's not.
It's at
To,
Chad's expense.
yeah, or in this case, your families.
I know, gosh. Sorry, guys. But no, we haven't. I don't know. I'm working on it. The fact that I
Okay.
got myself ready, I'm trying to put jeans on and like regular clothes on
Mm-hmm.
more often, and that's my baby steps into bigger things.
I
I'll
love
get
that.
there, but
You'll get there.
I can't jump in feet first.
Yeah, well, it's not sustainable either.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I am in my bed, and it's not because of anything other than John is home and he is on work calls in his office. So he echoes, and it's a nice excuse for me to lay in bed.
No, you look so cozy.
I know, and I'm wearing my stripes today for rare disease awareness. You're supposed to wear like stripes
Oh, I didn't know
in.
that.
I know, I forgot to tell you, but
Well, I
yep.
haven't even like looked at social media. I knew that Rare Disease Day, but I didn't know about the stripes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Serena from Place Spark had mentioned it on her reel, or else I wouldn't have known to wear stripes either. So
Yeah.
it was um, the reason why I chose this particular one today in my closet. And on the way to my closet, I want to talk about this because on the way to my closet is my bathroom. And if you have been following me on social media, I have shared some interior design decorating by Rob features in my home. One of them is melted drywall, like literally disintegrating right next to the bathtub where Rob splashes. And if you have, I've had people be like, can you like show them not to splash? But no, there is no way. Like he is going to keep splashing. So I don't know. We were figuring out a way to deal with this, and I was like, okay, well, we could get it patched up and painted. And I had read something about getting like a glass shower door installed around the bathtub, and I thought, no, I don't. I don't know if I want that. So I've been wanting to kind of update our bathroom, and I decided that we could just tile that back wall with a fun, like new updated tile and the other wall surrounding the bathtub. So that's what we're going to do on Monday.
Oh, you're gonna do it? You've already got it
Uh-huh.
planned?
It's
Did
got
you
it.
go with the one you sent me?
I did because a lot of these Texas homes, they have like a lot of brown
Mm-hmm.
and some brown ranch style things. So we have like brown tile already on the floor. And so I needed to find a tile that would like pull and make it feel cohesive. But it's like a
Yeah,
nice, like updated marble with like brown veining.
I liked
So
it. It's
it
gonna
was
look good.
cheap. It was cheap on Floor and Decor. I found some really beautiful ones and I was like, oh no. I was like,
Yeah, they look cheap and then you realize it's, like, per, like, tile, and then you think about how many you have to get. If it's a small one especially, it's like, "Oh, wait, no,
Mhm.
that's not cheap."
Yeah,
S
no,
so
not
we
cheap.
have gone to lengths as well in our bathroom.
Well,
It's just
I
funny
had
that we have to do this.
I have been Lauren was I sent Lauren, like, the mock-up of the wall and everything, just get her opinion, and then I showed her, like, the drywall crumbling apart, and she was like, "Oh, girl, I'll send you some pictures, I got some things." And I was like, "Please send it to me, like, make me feel better and normal." She sent me the pictures. I tried to get a hold of her for, like, 3 days on the phone because I wanted to, like, hold her hand while I said this, that I'm worried about the mold on her ceiling and her walls.
I know, I was like, "I'll take your drywall and I'll raise you mold."
Yeah.
Because but okay, so our bathroom has been a work in progress for 3 years now
It's a
because
beautiful bathroom. You take great care of it. It has nothing to do with that, and you've had it remodeled and wallpapered.
well, it's obviously not working because we got problems. So, we originally, it was a shower, a walk-in shower with no door, and then, like, the ceiling was just, like, regular, like, drywall ceiling. So, we had somebody come in and, like, install a door because Channing was always in the shower and the water was coming out, and we the floor needed to be replaced because of the amount of water that had been on the floor.
Mhm.
So we got the a shower door, a glass door, and then we tiled the ceiling just where the shower is
Yeah.
because he was always taking water and throwing it up into the air into hitting the ceiling. So and that drywall was melting down. Um so we did that. That was expensive because to
Mhm.
tile a ceiling, like the labor alone and all, I mean, it was expensive. And we redid the floor because when you would walk on the floor, it would like pieces of tile would actually like pop up. And at one point, Lainey was like walking around with like a piece of tile in her mouth or something, and Boo was chewing on tile. I was like, okay, this is this is a health hazard. Now we have other health hazards because we once we did that, we thought everything was fine, but now we've noticed mold, like,
Mhm.
growing on the sides of our walls, and now the drywall that on the ceiling that's not tiled
Mhm.
is now starting to melt because he gets that water out of that square where
Yeah.
the shower square. It no, I mean, it doesn't matter that there's a door. It doesn't I don't know
Yeah.
what he's doing with it, but the water is still coming out and so much moisture because he'll be in there for hours at a time. And
That's what
some
it
people
is.
are
I think
like,
it's like the moisture.
the amount of time that the water
Mhm.
is running and stuff. Yeah. And I know that we should be more conservative with water, but I mean, the
Lauren,
happiness
no, we
and
do any
regulation
yeah, no,
it
I'm like,
brings him.
I'm not even thinking about that. No, I mean, it when your child needs to regulate, you do what you need to do.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
because when the plumbers come and they've looked at it, because we've had them come and we had plumbers, but I know Tara was like, No, you actually need like mold remover people to come." But they've always been like, I don't know, like, why is it there's so much? And I'm like, well, because he's in there for hours at a time. It's not your
Mhm.
normal 15-minute shower. This, we're talking every day, hours. I mean,
Yeah.
we just need to tile the whole daggum
That's what I think too, and
bathroom.
I sent Lauren because I followed this girl on Instagram who, like, had, like, toxic black mold in their home, and I don't think that's what you have,
We just have
but
toxic gray mold. It's just
yeah,
gray. It has
it's just gray.
it's just gray.
Just the moisture, but Lauren was like, "If I get, like, a professional in here, are they gonna, like, tell me it's, that like, Are they gonna exaggerate? And I'm like, "Okay, let's do this at home mold test." So, I sent that to you, and then you can get, like, in 5 minutes, see what kind of,
What
danger
we're
you're
working
in.
with,
Yeah.
how long we have to live.
Right? But like I said, I don't think it's, like, the toxic stuff, but it's good to just know, and then once you know, then you can be like, "Alright, let's just tile," you know,
I
whatever.
know. It's just so annoying. I mean, and we talk about how we have to like redecorate for our kids. And in our shower, we have a Lowe's bucket. We have more solo cups than a college frat party. Like so many solo cups. And it's funny because when he's ready to go get in the shower, now he can say the word shower and he'll say shower.
Oh my
And
god.
yeah, so he'll come up and he'll be like, "Shower," and then he'll go into the pantry and grab Solo cups and, like, take them in there, his little frat boy self going to throw water, and then we have a baby pool in that shower because he likes to fill it up, and we don't want the shower itself to fill up with water, so we'll let him fill the baby pool and the Lowe's bucket and all of the Solo cups. It's just it's just not it's not a cute look, but, it works
It
for
works. We
him.
do what we gotta do, and it it's hard. There's a lot of, features here in this home that I would not have picked out for myself, like writings on the wall, broken, um, m mirrors. I'm looking right now. My TV in my bedroom is there's a huge piece of, like, plexiglass hanging over it. It's not cute. It
Didn't the both of us go through, was it 4 or 5 TVs in one
it was
year
it was a
together?
lot, and on
Not
one of our
together, but, like, both of us had the same number of
yeah, and then
TVs.
on one of our vacations together, both of our children broke a TV.
Yeah.
I
You gotta laugh so
just
you don't cry, it's fine.
I gotta laugh, and here's the thing, like, I've mentioned this so many times, but when things get broken or destroyed and it's during Rob, like, regulating, like, and being happy or, like, on accident, I'm like, "Great." He didn't do it in a moment of, like, frustration or anger. So the bathtub stuff, he's having fun. He's splashing. He's melting off the walls. Okay.
Mhm.
Pivot of
I
tile.
know.
The m
Exactly.
the mirror that he broke it because he was, like, reenacting a scene from a movie, I don't know which one. So, like, he hit it with, a screwdriver that he found. I don't know. It's okay. He can find whatever he needs when he
Creative.
wants it. He's so creative. So it's like things like that where I'm like, okay, it's an accident, move on. Because I've been in the place where it's done when he's completely dysregulated and frustrated, and I'm more worried about how he's feeling rather than like what is broken, you know?
Mhm. Yep.
So anyway, I like talking about our normal and I
Yeah.
don't know. It helps me because we don't need to be stressed out about these things, even though we're still going to be. There's going to be things that still get broken that it's like, it's stressful. But I think if you don't know other people are going through it, sometimes you put the blame on yourself or you're like, what am I doing wrong? Or how
Mhm.
come so and so's autistic child doesn't do this? Like you start getting into the comparison game. And it's like, we're all here struggling with different things. Lauren can light a candle. Rob likes to eat the wax from candles. So I can't
Channing
leave.
just Channing just likes to blow the candles out.
Yeah.
He won't eat the wax, but as soon as the candle is lit, he
Uh-huh.
wants to come and blow the candle out because he very much enjoys
Yes.
that.
I can have a picture of John and Henry out in a frame, but when Channing sees a picture that he's not in, he's gonna break it.
We've
That
gone through
happened this
so many.
what
We have
happened
gone
this
through so
morning?
many. We have a picture frame, like the gold,
Are you eating?
like Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to be talking at the moment. Um, a gold, those like Target picture frames. They
Mhm.
are at every Target. They're gold, like 16 by 20. The mat is like for an 11 by 14. I cannot tell you how many of those I have bought. We have so many broken in our house from like magnets hitting them, somebody running into them. Channing just knocking them off the wall because he didn't want it there. I can't so many. I mean,
Yeah.
and I've already done a Target order today for a new one.
But I
So,
thought it was funny this morning, Lauren texted, um, me and our friend Danielle a picture, that Channing broke, and she's like, "Of course, it's the only picture that he's not in on the wall," and we were laughing. It's like, you have to laugh. You have
I
to,
know.
like, make up these fun scenarios in our head, or it could be what the deal actually was, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's fun to just laugh about it with your friends who get it.
Yeah. You have to laugh so that you don't cry and just normalize it like, "Oh, okay. Well, hey, Target, I'm gonna buy another one."
Hey, I know, but the money that is spent on replacing and restoring and renovating things is a whole nother ball game. So it's fun to when I was talking to people in my DMs, like how creative they got with just like bathtub situations. And someone told me, "Can you try a splash guard?" And I was like, that would not work for Rob because he would rip it just right off the wall. Because there's some cool splash guard things that if your child is just splashing happily in the bath, like it will work. But Rob gets out of the bath and cannon bombs. He cannon bombs it, and I can't stop it. So,
Mhm.
and then
Chan
what he'll do is he'll like, you know, when they like go back and forth and then like the water comes up from the back.
Yeah.
That's how that part of the wall
Mhm.
started to break apart, is because he would like go back and forth and it would just it was like like a
Yeah.
tsunami.
Channing, what he likes to do now is all the soap in the bathroom, so, like, on the ledges, like, where the little bottles of soap would be, he gets them and takes them and walks out of the bathroom out of the shower and puts them in the bathtub. So he wants no soap, no shampoo,
Mhm.
no nothing in the shower itself, just his Solo cups, and puts it all so walking his little tootie back and forth and through the shower, he's dripping wet, and I'm like, "Okay, this is how all the water is getting out here because now we're making a path back and forth because no soap can stay in the shower." And it's
Yeah.
hard to remember because when you get in the shower, then you don't have soap, so then you have to walk to the bathtub and get the soap.
Yes. And not
Oh,
fall.
yes.
Oh, our
So
kids.
fun.
I love them so
I
much.
think I like this little life.
And this little lamb,
This little
little
life.
lamb.
I just sing that all day, every
And then
day.
what's the other one? Just another day in
In
paradise.
paradise. You know what, though? This just when I said I think I like this little life, I was singing it to myself this week at Chick-fil-A because I just have to mention one time
Oh, yeah,
my
okay.
pet peeve of when parents are not watching their kids out in public at a pool, at a play place, at a park, wherever it is. Why are you not watching your kids? Why are you letting other parents watch your kids? Why
Mhm.
are you relying on them? Why do you even have kids? Like, it
Preach.
drives me crazy. Like, I was at the Chick-fil-A play place. Luckily, I only had London with me, but there was a little boy. He was probably 3 years old. He was little. And he comes, running in there. He throws his shoes off. He like throws them up the slide. And then he's like running around and he keeps like getting caught between like the slide and the net. And he's like, "Can you help me? Can you help me? I'm stuck. Can you help me?" And so I keep like going and like getting him out of the net and picking him up. And every time I'm like looking around, like, is there a parent? Because, at the fast food play places, it's like enclosed, there's like a
Mhm.
door to get to the indoor part of the dining. And so she can't even hear that he's asking for help. Like she has no idea. And it's just, I don't know. I just sit and I see it happens all the time. Like I don't know why I'm surprised,
Yeah.
but it just drives me crazy. And I could never even, I was with London, who's neurotypical. I would not just be like, "Okay, you go, have fun. I'm gonna be out here eating my nuggets."
Yeah. No, 1,000%. And this makes me think about how a lot of autism parents,
Sorry,
bless
excuse
you,
me.
a lot of autism parents are usually the ones that are quote unquote babysitting the other kids at a function, whether it be like a family Christmas party, birthday party, because parents know, oh, Tara's not going to leave Rob. Like, so we've
Mhm.
got adult eyes on the kids. Like,
Yep.
you know, so now they didn't know you were an autism mom and you were just there with London. And so that wasn't the case for their mindset, but they're like, "Oh, another mom's in there, it's fine."
Mhm.
And it just makes me salty too. So just here to say, yeah, I will be salty with you in solidarity because it is
Yeah.
annoying. I never did that with Henry. I never When Henry was little, I was never the mom that had my eyes off of him.
No. And they do it all the time everywhere.
Mhm.
And I just really don't understand. It's like they go to the park so that other people will have to babysit their kids, and they
Mhm.
just sit off to the side on their phones or whatever. And I don't know. And what gets on my nerves is I get so frustrated with it because I've suddenly acquired 5 children that
Mhm.
then I leave, and that's not
Mhm.
fair that I
No.
feel like I have to leave but I'm exhausted because now I'm making sure your kid doesn't run into the pond and making sure mine doesn't throw sand and making like, I
Mhm.
I'm just overwhelmed when I came to the park for a
Yeah.
little bit of peace and my kids have fun, and yes, I'm gonna sit there and watch them, but I didn't know that I was also gonna become mother to the park.
Yeah, a mother to the bark. I think that you and I have I think it comes down to like people like you and I, we have trust issues with society and like even other kids. Like other kids are mean, can be mean. So that's our mindset in making sure we're watching our kids. And that's how it was when I was a mom to just Henry and he was little. Like I didn't trust anybody. And I maybe yeah, it gives me a lot of anxiety. I wish I was a little more trusting, but I think some people just are like, "Oh, it's fine." And that I don't know.
But
I
I'm
don't know.
needing to watch, like, especially with Channing, I'm like, because a lot of times kids will ask him questions and he won't respond. So then I feel like I need to respond and I need to listen
Mhm.
and hear what's happening. And same like if somebody's being mean to him, because a lot of times he likes to go and sit at the top of the slide and just like sit
Yeah.
at the top. And like sometimes kids will come up behind him and be like, "Hey, move, go." And I'll be like, "Channing, come on, like, come on
Yeah.
down, give
Mhm.
somebody else a turn." But if
Yeah.
I'm not there, he'll just sit there, and then
Mhm.
somebody else might push him or something, like, I don't know. That's why
I
we don't
know.
go to the park. We don't go to Chick-fil-A. We don't go to these places. Like, I'm complaining about it because it just happened this week because it's the first time I went
I
went
know.
and did it, and then I'm reminded why we don't.
I know. I feel like I'm worried about it in two different ways. That way of like people talking to like kids like, "Why aren't you talking? What are you doing? Why are you being weird?" And then
Mhm.
Rob going up and trying to pick up the little babies because Rob loves like little toddlers and babies and he
Mhm.
like a little I think he really does like picture them as dolls or something and he can be a little rough. So, I feel like I'm like it's whiplash.
Mhm.
It's whiplash. Oh, but I would like to talk about a big life update going on over here.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say, speaking of whiplash,
I know.
let's get into what's going on with you guys.
Well, if anyone has been following our journey for years, I have gone back and forth with the whole idea of school. And a lot of that went into like, we have a really good thing with his ABA team right now. And I didn't want to take him away from that. If anyone is in ABA, it can be a revolving door. It can be hard to find a BCBA or team of RBTs that work well for your child and for you, you know. So we've had the best team for years. And finally now it's like breaking apart. And there's a lot that's like going into that, but everyone's kind of dispersing. And it sent me into panic mode. But also, it's interesting because I've been talking about this for so long and researching and touring like schools and whatever. I kind of went into it with like my little safety net of information. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I was constantly going back and forth and taking tours of schools and deciding to wait is because I'm so bad with change that I can't just do something like that. I have to be very comfortable with the idea and I have to really let it sink in if I'm afforded that time. So anyway, I went back on a tour to another school. This was like the third tour after I found out this information. I called and I'm like, hey, I went on a tour like a year ago. And then like a year before that, can I come on another one and just like ask some questions? Cause we're like super serious about making this switch. So I did that. Long story short, I think it's going to be a great fit. Rob's going to start in the fall. He's going to remain with his BCBA at a new location, um, but with like a new team. But because I trust his BCBA so much and how just amazing she's been, I have confidence in like the team. So, but that was a huge change too that I had to grapple with. So it's not like, okay, we're going to start school in the fall, but we can remain comfortable for the next few months doing our thing. It's like we're already making a change. Um, so that's like a huge life update for us because I never thought I'd see the day of us starting school. And I also want to just quickly say if you've also been following, everyone knows that we have like doctor trauma. So
Gosh, yes.
I have to
Oh,
talk about when Rob went and had his evaluation at the school because I was already like so nervous because it's really hard to go new places with our sweet little Rob Kebab because he is an eloper and a wanderer, but also if he detects anything that's off and has anxiety about going to a new place, we're not going in. Like he won't allow it and we're not going to like drag him in while he's melting down. You know what I mean? So I had high anxiety working up to this evaluation. And so my dad and I like devised a plan and he was coming with us and we get to the front door. So we got Rob out of the car. We parked right next to their playground. And so he's like getting excited because he was going to be able to play during his evaluation. That's what it was. It's just him playing.
and you were scared to begin with about him just getting out of the car. So, a win. We got out of the car.
We
Then
got
you
out of
get
the
to the door.
Y'all, we
Oh
get to the
gosh.
door and like we're getting Rob to the door and he's like uneasy but like smiling. And tell me why the school nurse in her scrubs answers the door. Rob immediately like just goes nuts. Rightfully so.
And
Rightfully
there's
so.
only one school nurse, correct?
Only one school nurse. She's in blue scrubs and she just so happens to be the one that's letting us in.
Bless.
I couldn't have made this up. My heart immediately dropped and I went into like I don't know what mode I was in. Like the adrenaline was so high that I was like, okay, I guess we're not going to do this today. Which there was added pressure because we needed to get this done so that we could figure out next steps for ABA. And there was a whole lot of logistics in the, that's a story I won't tell, but I just needed, we needed to get to this evaluation. So anyway, I'm like, okay, we're going to infiltrate. I knew because I've toured this school 3 times. I was like, okay, I know the side entrance. And so I told my dad to let them know, like, okay, we're going in the side entrance. And the glass door looks into their huge OT room, which has a ball pit and a swing, I mean, trampoline. So he looked and he was excited. So we got him in that way. And then he just slowly kind of made his way through the school. I was able to meet with the administration team and talk about all that while my dad was with the two evaluators. And I was thinking, oh my God, thank God my dad is here because he was just not, he wouldn't stop. Like he wasn't going to be one of those kids that goes to a room and plays and stays in the same room for an hour or 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes. He was going to every classroom, opening every door. He was
Curious.
curious. And my dad, after the meeting, I was like, so did they, like, I'm so glad you were here. I'm sure they really needed you. And he was like, no, they actually like had it under control. Like I was watching them and like I learned a lot from them. And I was like, that speaks volumes to me. And if
Mhm.
you have a loper, sensory seeker, wander, like that's huge. So anyway, I just had
Yes.
to tell that story because even just like the littlest things, outings can be so like hard. We can be so hard on ourselves, working ourselves up for it. Rob did pleasantly surprise us, and so did the nurse.
Yes. And you can try to plan for everything, but you didn't plan for the nurse opening the door or telling them, "Hey." I mean, you just would have never thought of that.
I would have never thought, Lauren.
I
I
know. I
just
have to
can't.
laugh because I know that well, the reason I'm laughing is terrible because I know that it was like, oh
It
my god,
was.
it was bad, but I'm not laughing for that reason. I'm just
I
laughing
know.
because it's like, oh my
We
gosh,
have to.
but you got through it. And from what you were telling me, I think Rob really liked it
He
there, and
really
that is
liked, yeah.
huge. Our kids know. They know when they're in a safe space. They know
Yeah,
when
they know.
people are around them that love them and are gonna care for them, and I think that is huge.
It's huge. And can I just say a couple of green flags where that like part of my meeting with the administration team was talking about our challenges. And so when I was going through them, like we have big challenges. Um, they were like, "Isn't he amazing? Like, isn't
Oh.
he like, you know what I mean?" It didn't phase them. They're like, "Well, how, upset does he get?" It wasn't like that. And so a lot of these now, and I forgot to say, and I forgot to preface, this is a private school that is for children with disabilities, with special needs. And so we do have to pay for it. It is one of the less expensive ones that are in the Houston area. But a lot of these other schools that promote, this inclusive environment for children with disabilities, they will straight up be like, well, how is he high or low functioning? And I already know, okay, we're not the place for you because my child functions just well. He is very smart, but we have these challenges in these other areas. And I can't explain that to someone who is just looking for, are they easy or are they hard?
Mhm,
That's what I hear.
mhm.
Um, so anyway, I'm excited. I was hoping they would have like an opening for us to kind of get started sooner because I'm someone who I think would do better with starting school without the pressure of it's fall, everyone's starting school. But that's not how it's going to work out, which I'm actually grateful for because then Rob gets to experience his first school year and I get to
Yes.
experience that with him. So it will be like such a nice memory.
Mhm.
Um, and we can have this nice summer transition.
Yes, I think, like I told you that I feel like God has made this happen this way
Yes.
because it's kind of forced you to
Hmm.
do something that you were hesitant about because you just weren't
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
and you were scared,
Hmm.
rightfully so.
Hmm.
But now you know. I feel like this is a sign, like with, your BCBA leaving and the transitions there. Like this is right. God is
Hmm.
giving you a sign that it's okay. This is what
Yeah.
we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I also think I think it's great that you have to wait until the fall because
Yeah.
now you know where he's going, you know the plan, and
Hmm.
you can have his team. that's with him until July work with you on what do we need to work on before school? What do you
Mhm,
want to
mhm.
make sure boxes are checked before we get to school? What can we help
Yes.
you with
Yes.
before he starts in a classroom setting, you know? And
Yes.
that's what you can have this time to do that.
Yes. And what's also really cool is Rob's been, like, wanting to go back, and, they have OT there in speech that we can sign up for to come, like, once a week,
Mhm.
and I asked his BCBA, like, "Can y'all come with us to that?" And she said, "Yes." So, like, we
Oh,
can
see?
work on
This
that.
is what you do. You start working on
I
getting out of the
know.
car and you start working on going in and
Yeah.
seeing, where the challenges might be and
Mhm.
asking the BCBA for their advice on how you,
Yeah.
navigate those challenges while you can. And then in the fall, you'll have a little back to school buddy going to
And
school with
I'll
his
just
little
have
backpack.
oh my gosh, and I just have to say, this reminds me of, like, the medication talk that you and I have had. My nose my nostrils flaring because 'cause I'm getting a little emotional. You've just been such a great friend through all of this because I'm sure it's, like sorry, I'm holding my nose so I don't cry. I'm sure it's been, like, so annoying to hear me talk about, like, being afraid to start school, afraid to start medication, and you've just allowed me to just really, like, be afraid. You know what I mean? Like in a safe space.
Well, because I understand. You're
Red
making
my
me
nose.
cry. I got Rudolph over
Look at
there.
my I know it's Rudolph.
No, I feel like this has been a hard decision. And, when things are going so well, like they were with,
Yeah.
Rob's therapy, it's hard to be like, hey, let's shake it up. It's going
Yeah.
well. Let's stop the train while everything's going great. You don't want to do that. So I feel like, you've just kind of been teetering on this, but God's timing is always right.
Yeah.
And I feel like I said, when you first called me and said, "Oh my goodness, all these things, these changes are happening," I was like, Tara, I think you need to see it as what it is. This is a
Tara,
sign.
I think you need medication. Tara. No, but you're so right. And that's exactly what it is. So if you're in this position of like not knowing what choice to make, it's okay to sit in it for as long as it takes. Um And it's okay to not try to fix something that's not broken just because you think they have to start school at a certain age or whatever. It's supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. Like a lot of things, like I feel like we go through potty training, just there's so many things where it's like they're on their own timeline. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen. And have friends and people around you that encourage you to stay positive and optimistic, but allow you to sit in the hard and not knowing what to do, because sometimes, like, the advice just doesn't like, the constant advice doesn't help. We just need someone to listen to us.
Mm.
And so you've been just, like, such a great person for that, and
Well, you're that for me. So, duh.
well. Um, okay, so now you've really inspired me to, over the years, just believe that school is a good like, there are good schools out there. There are good environments for our children. And I know you've talked about just how wonderful Channing School is and how they've just really been such it's been such an inclusive environment for him. But has there been anything that's been like hard about school that y'all have gone through?
Yeah. Um, we had so for the most part, the school has been great. Finding the school was a challenge. We definitely found a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of options in our area, and the public schools were just not, giving Channing any sort of, you know, sort of options really. They were like, this is what it's going to be, and this is, you know, because he's non-speaking, he's automatically considered this. And, so Our school has been great. I will say, though, that something happened back in the fall, and we weren't recording our podcast at the time, so I've told you this story, though, but, we weren't able to talk about it on the podcast, and honestly, I don't know that I would have been able to even talk about it yet. Um, because what happened was one day at lunch, and I won't say because I do love his school, and I don't know, who listens, so I won't say if, what happened was even in his grade level,
Mhm.
so that we keep it,
Mhm.
as anonymous as possible since his class is small.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure that I'm upfront with that, but um, it was at lunch, and Channing probably has, like, the best lunch at school in the kids' minds,
Yeah.
there's not a vegetable in sight, not a fruit in sight. I am sure all the other kids are like, "Man, Channing's mom is amazing." Uh, but they're
Yeah.
probably thinking like, "Wow." Because food is a challenge, obviously, and there's only certain things that he will eat, and I wanna make sure when he's at school, he is fed. I want
Mhm.
to know that he does not have an empty stomach, even if it's full of carbs and, you know, whatever. So, he had, 2 little fruit roll-ups because that was actually a new food that he was eating, so we were pretty proud about the fruit
Yeah.
roll-ups. I mean,
Yes.
fruit, it's a fruit, right? I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep, yep.
So he had, like, some fruit roll-ups in his lunch, and the teacher actually left the lunchroom, and his para wasn't in the room at the time because she was doing something else. So it was just a moment where there was no one else in the lunchroom, which normally would not happen.
Mhm.
But 2 kids, saw this moment that wouldn't normally happen, and they took his, fruit roll-ups.
Mm.
And the only way the teacher knew about it is when she got back, she noticed that he no longer had the fruit roll-ups, and there were some kids over in the corner, like, laughing, eating the fruit roll-ups. So, she immediately texted me and told me what happened, which I will forever be grateful for. She
Mhm.
didn't have to tell me.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like she did, but at the same time, like, the kids weren't gonna fess up to it. Channing wasn't
No.
gonna be able to tell me. Um, so the kids did get in trouble. Um, my husband was like, "Well, we should just send in, a box of fruit roll-ups for the whole class." And I was like, "No." I
No.
was still in the anger part of it, because he wanted the whole lunchroom to be able to have fruit roll-ups, and I was like, "No, I feel like these kids saw an opportunity with Channing being non-speaking, and I try not to think about what happened in the moments where the teacher and the pair weren't there.
Yeah.
Did they come up to him and just take it? Did they ask him for it and he handed it to him? I still can't say whether that happened or not, and the kids, aren't really gonna be forthcoming with that, so,
Yeah.
I don't know, it doesn't sound like a big deal, I'm sure, to some parents, but for me, it was so much more than the fruit roll-up.
Mhm.
Um, it was about the fact that they saw his weakness and they preyed on it,
Mhm.
and, he when else does this happen? Like, there's just all it pops up all these questions of, has this happened before and it was just missed? The teacher saw it this time, but could it be possibly that it has happened before and I
Yeah.
don't know. So, yes, to answer your question, there has been times that, everything isn't perfect, and I don't think any situation would ever be perfect. But I do feel blessed that we're at a place that felt that felt enough respect for me and for Channing to let us know what
Yeah.
happened and to let us know that they were gonna make sure it didn't happen again, and, um, you know, I hope that Channing's feelings weren't hurt. I hope that he was never sad over it. I tried to talk to him about it, but he didn't really have any kind of emotions either way when I was talking to him. And maybe one day he'll tell me,
Yeah.
how he felt. Maybe he'll remember. Maybe he doesn't remember it. Um, but yeah, and I think it also just reminded me that no situation is perfect, and this something like this will probably happen again. And that
Yeah.
was the hardest part, is thinking about it happening when he's older and, like, what does it look like, and I don't know. But those are just rabbit holes I just can't go down, and I've
Yeah.
just gotta live each day and
I think
just
that's what's hard about those moments is it can either lead us into a spiral or we have to disassociate and kind of compartmentalize that so that we don't go down a rabbit hole. And that is the mental that I feel like that speaks to the mental like muscles that we have that a lot of people will never gain. Like we really do teach ourselves to not focus on the hard and the challenges and the moments like you went through, or else we will go into a depression or
Mhm,
a panic attack or an anxiety attack. And can I just say, like, rewinding back to where the teacher even just noticed that Channing had a fruit roll up in his lunchbox that day. She just
mhm,
noticed that it was there before she had left the room and came back to notice that it was gone.
mhm,
That to me speaks volumes to to her level of observance with the children, especially Channing. Um and then her immediate reaction to let you know
mhm.
because she knows that Channing's not going to go home and tell you. And I
Yeah.
think that's what my fear is too is I trust his team so much now. Like I trust them with his life that I'm now having to put that trust into a whole new group of people because at the end of the day Rob is not able to come home and tell me what happened if something bad happened or if something good happened. Rob speaks, he has a lot of words, but you've been with him. It's very much scripting. It's very much, you know, uh, in a moment, if he needs something like cup of water,
Mhm.
Rob isn't coming home and being like, damn, mom, I had a hard day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
So I don't
That's
know.
I also just feel like that was validation to me that we were in the right size place, because I
Mm,
think that a small school for us is, truly what we need, because just, the teacher could observe and see. But if there'd been, 50 kids, it would be totally different and really hard for her to really be able to hone in on what's happening. So
yeah,
thankfully it is a small school. Um, and I wish that all families could have small schools, the
I
teacher
know.
like we have. Like
I
I
know.
wish that I could clone it all, but
Is Channing's Joy still do y'all still have applications open for school uh
so
scholarships?
school scholarships isn't open right now, but it'll open again probably in the summer. Um, or maybe more like May.
Okay.
So, because
That's
we were able to
amazing.
help a handful of, but it's expensive, so I can't help a ton, but
Mhm.
we were able to help a handful of kids get some scholarships to go into school. And then also a couple of them that were able to reach out to us. We knew about some other grants. So, like the North Carolina grant, for children with special needs that as long as you have an IEP from a public school, you can go to a private school and get, this certain amount of funds.
Wow.
No questions asked as long as you have a diagnosis. So some families didn't know about that, and those funds can actually, in North Carolina, be used for other things like OT and speech and, um,
Wow.
spelling and all those things. But, a lot of people just don't know about the different grants and stuff in your state. So
Yeah.
I would rather help people also know about those and get that money, and then Channing's Joy help where there's no funds available in any other capacity.
Yeah.
So,
I know you wanna help more than you can with private school, but any help makes a big difference in one family's life, you know?
yeah,
So don't ever shortchange what it is you're doing for these families because I know it makes a big impact and difference to them.
yeah,
So
I hope
on
so. I wish I
on
could give 30 grand to every family, but
I
I don't
know.
have it.
I know. I know. Well, I know we're coming up on our hour, but I don't want to let this episode end without talking about, speaking of Channing's Joy, the Walk for Joy. I am so
Yes.
excited. So tell us about it.
So signups are now on a walkforjoy.com, and you can sign up to walk virtually or in person. It's going to be Saturday, April 12th. It's at a local ballpark here. It's like a minor league ballpark. So it's, super legit. Um, Fenced in complete space. The kids will be able to walk the concourse. It's really open, but also fenced in, which is, just like win-win. Like it's not
Mhm.
so enclosed. We're going to have two different sensory areas for people with sensory sensitivities to be able to get away from any sort of craziness. There's going to be an indoor one and an outdoor one. So depending on, your child's needs, and they I'm really excited about that opportunity because it really, last year we had the tent
Mhm.
for, like sensory, and that was great, but it was small.
Mhm.
And this is the indoor space is huge. And
Oh
then
my
the
gosh.
outdoor space has couches and like fans. And so families can really get away, or even like breastfeeding moms, like just
Yes.
a space to get away to. We have
Mhm.
actual restrooms this year instead of porta potties.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Oh my god, that is an upgrade.
it is an upgrade. It is. There's gonna be like they have the big jumbotrons, the mega screens, and so we're gonna be able to show our fundraising total on like a live
Oh my
like as people
gosh.
donate, you'll be able to see it up on the screen. And then once I hit my total, which I hope I hit, I'm gonna put on a movie for everybody to like watch and see. So
A
um
movie.
yeah, just a movie can be playing and people can get their blankets out and sit in the lawn of the
Oh, I
field.
love that.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
whatever.
that, Lauren.
Yeah, and
That's
then
so
the movie will be
wonderful.
playing in the sensory areas, but just like, a quiet.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what movie? I don't know. I gotta
I
pick
know,
a
that's what
movie.
okay, yeah, yeah, we gotta see.
I mean, if it was up to Channing, it would be Peppa episodes.
I think it's
But
gonna have to be
well, the only thing with Peppa episodes is we have certain ones we do not like.
that's true.
And I don't.
What about A Field of Dreams? If they build it, they will come,
Oh, I love
right?
that.
Right? Because 'Cause you've created this wonderful event for all these families, and you're
That's
at the
cool.
baseball field, and it really is like such a beautiful story by putting your trust in God and yourself to do brave things.
I love that.
Okay. I just watched it with
Okay.
John and Henry recently, and
I
Danielle, it
love
was
that.
funny. Our friend Danielle was telling me that about PLA. She's like, if you build it, they'll come. Because I was like, I
Mhm.
don't think anyone's going to come.
Yes. And
Um,
they do.
and they do.
Um, and then we're gonna have, like bubbles, all the things, face painting, characters like walking around. it sounds super overwhelming, but at the same time, like last year's walk, I don't feel like there was like too much going on because I try to keep like the sound to a minimum and like
Mhm.
just things in certain areas. Plus, there's the fenced in playground, so kids can go play at the playground.
That's
Um,
amazing.
there'll be concession stands open. Um,
And
gosh,
last year was so amazing and beautiful, and I was just so overwhelmed and impressed. I can't even imagine it being better this year, but it's going to be, which
I hope
is
so.
so wild. So if you are thinking about, is this gonna be a good environment? Come. Just
Yeah,
it's gonna be great. And last year, Chad spent like the entire afternoon putting up barricades around the area to keep everyone safe. This year, it's going to be like professionally fenced in and
yeah.
just so many opportunities for sensory rooms to get away and calm yourself and get regulated.
Yes. I just want everybody to feel like when they come, there's not rules. There's
Yeah.
not, just come as you are. Like if your child is upset or having a moment, that's fine.
Mhm.
Um, there's so many ABA centers and other like OTs and speech therapists that are volunteering. There's going to be
Yes.
so much support there.
Mhm.
um, I just want people to come and feel seen and
Mhm.
feel like they can just be themselves.
Yes. Do not
Because I no,
apologize.
no, please don't.
You do not have
Strollers are
to.
welcome, wagons are welcome, dogs are welcome. Dogs just can't go on the field.
Yeah.
Um,
And have to
and
be on a leash.
yeah. Um, but I mean, really. Oh, and I'm so excited because Tara created us this guy named CJ, and you
I'm so proud of CJ. I don't ask for credit ever, but I like having credit for this. I'm sorry.
yes. So if y'all have seen the shirts that we just put online yesterday, you can buy a shirt whether you're walking in person or virtually. Grab a shirt because all the donations will go towards the walk. Um, but on the shirt is this little guy, CJ. We're calling him, and he's a little smiley face man. His mouth says choose to include. A little background on him is he's non speaking and he uses an AAC device. And he is going to be at the event.
He's gonna
Who
be in it.
I'm
Who's
s-
gonna be in the mascot?
I don't know who'll be in the mascot yet. We'll have to see.
Well, listen, whoever gets to be in that mascot costume, it's a privilege and it is an honor. And I think that you should have tryouts.
Do you want to
Whoever
do it, Tara?
I kind of want to.
I know. I feel like you're kind of pitching yourself.
I I would love to be in that suit for the entirety of the event. And we did talk about Joy Jam at one point last season, which it will happen. But I'm excited because like CJ is going to have like a cowboy hat and cowboy
Mhm.
boots. Like
Mhm.
CJ is ready for whatever event Channing's Joy wants to throw. So
Yep.
he is here to stay.
CJ is gonna be epic. I am so excited.
So
I don't
wait,
I
can
don't
you show the mock-up like posted on our first rodeo stories
Yeah, I'll post it.
after we
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll
because
post
it
them.
is just amazing.
It's amazing. He's so cute, and I mean, I'm obsessed with him. I hope that Channing really likes him because sometimes Channing's like hit or miss on a character,
Mhm. Mhm.
but he really likes Elmo. So I wanted to make sure that CJ was furry because
Yes.
I think that's what he likes about Elmo is like
Yeah.
that he's like fuzzy.
Yeah.
So CJ's gonna be furry, but
Not
I'm
to
so
s
excited.
I'm so excited too, and not to, like, take the attention off CJ, but I just had a thought, can we get, like, Elmo and, like, Peppa Pig at the walk, like, characters?
Maybe. So the character girl that is coming is My Pretty Princess Party in Charlotte. She's actually donating all
Oh
of
my
the
god.
characters in her time.
Wow.
But I know she has like superheroes and princesses, but I'll look into some other characters because you're right. Like Channing does love Elmo and
I
Peppa.
know. I
And
know.
we
We
said
could
that last year. I was like, why weren't they there?
we
That's
have
a great
the cool
idea.
thing is like this is not your first rodeo with the walk. And so you've gotten ahead of all this like so you have time. You have time to
Sort of. But I'm screwed because March is tomorrow. Like that makes me so nervous. February is supposed to be like 4 more days.
Oh my
Like
god. I
February
know.
is such a short month
I
that
know. I
I'm
know.
kind of starting to scrounge. But
You've
if you
got
haven't
this.
signed up for the walk already, sign up because I I like to see that the numbers are rising and I really want to fill up this stadium. This
Yes.
stadium can hold like 5,000 people or something. Um and I want I want to be like maxed out. I
Hell
mean, I
yeah.
don't because I don't want it to be overwhelming, but I just want a lot of families there that can just look around and feel like these are my people.
I know. Well, and our friend Kaylee, K-Hope from Arizona,
Mhm.
she's coming and she's like, I want to volunteer, like whatever Lauren needs, I'll like be a body. Like, so if you want to
Kaylee
volunteer,
could be CJ too. She'd probably be a great
oh,
CJ.
she would be a great CJ. She would be a great CJ.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
like, there's going to be some amazing people there too, if you like that are coming from out of state. If
Mhm.
you want to meet them, you have like some awesome vendors coming.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, Inclusive Neuroverse Bree, she's Arizona too, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
And
she's
her and
coming.
Kaylee are good friends, and so that's
Uh-huh.
gonna be fun for them.
Lauren with Little Rebels with a Cause. She's from Oregon. She's
Oh my
coming.
gosh.
Um, yeah, because there's just so many like autism, you know, founded like autism moms, just whoever
Mhm.
I can get that wants to come.
Are you gonna do
That's
like a silent auction or we didn't do that
no,
last year. Okay.
nah.
Yeah.
I don't
I was
have
gonna
time for
s
that.
that's a lot, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's more of like maybe a joy jam type thing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I've got my shirts, I got my sweatshirt so that if it's like cold, then I'm still repping. Because I
Mhm.
remember last year I was like, "Oh, it's cold." So
Yeah.
we had to wait.
And then, of course, Chad last night goes, "Well, could I not get it in a hoodie?"
Oh, Chad.
It's like, "Babe," it's like, and then he makes me second guess. I'm like, "Well, should I have gotten it in a hoodie because I got a crew neck?" But see, last year I got a hoodie and I felt like more people were asking for crew necks.
Yes,
And now
I feel like more people like crew necks when we're in that transition fall. What is it? Winter to spring.
yes.
We can get Chad a hoodie.
Chad can wear his hoodie from last year, is what Chad can do. That's what I
No,
told him he can do.
he's got a rep. He's got a rep. CJ.
Gosh.
He's got to be in the picture, the family picture.
Oh, no.
I'm
Ugh,
so
okay, my
excited.
brain is just like going to now I'm just like thinking about all the stuff I have to do.
I know, but you have plenty of time. It's going to be great. So I think that's a wonderful place for us to end because I want people to hop off this episode and go check out a Walk for Joy. You can create a virtual team.
Mhm.
If you want to have a girls trip, this is the girls trip for y'all. We're going to have a fun night before. Oh, this
Mhm.
is huge. A fun night before at a local brewery so we can all say hey to each other, meet each other, have a couple beers or not if that's not your thing. But so if like you've been wanting to plan a girls trip or like a couples trip or something fun, this is I feel like your chance. Charlotte is such a great excuse.
Mhm.
No, the walk is such a great excuse and Charlotte is such a great town to come visit. So
Yes.
get
Yeah.
your shirts, make a virtual team if you can't come.
And where the
100%.
walk is so cute, like, in the area of Kannapolis. It's the downtown part of Kannapolis. There's all these little stores. There's 3 Gems Boutique. You could go to Vestique, which is in Charlotte. The Vestique,
Oh,
I always talk about, people could go and visit that. That's in
yes.
Charlotte. In Kannapolis, right across from the stadium is the Three Gems Boutique, and there's some other, like, cool little boutiques and stores. So, like, once you leave the walk, you could go and do some other bopping around,
Yes.
head into Charlotte. I'm trying to work on some room blocks so that hopefully I can get some discounts for people, but I'm sure there's Airbnbs too that people could rent. I
Yeah.
just want everybody to come.
Oh, people are gonna come. Don't you worry about
So,
that. Well, now you have a
uh,
lot of, stuff
work
to
to do.
take care of.
I know.
Oh, but it's gonna
Oh,
be good. You always make things happen. Like I said, this ain't your first rodeo, but it is our first rodeo, and we are so glad y'all were able to join us today. Ooh, do you like that? You like that
oh, I like that.
segue?
And if you wanna watch it on YouTube, hit that up too.
But maybe don't, because I'm just constantly looking like shit these days. Like I'm just Lauren shows up to work and I just show up.
That is not true. It's not true at all, but
Okay.
I love you, and,
I
if
love
you could
you.
get your neon sign, that'd be great.
I know. I'm
I'm just kidding.
sorry.
All
uh,
right, guys, have a good day.
all right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.